It's like slowing the delay time down.
Exactly. Joey Landreth, wow. We have not met before. Well, we did briefly, but the first time we played a note together.
That's right.
I think so.
It's great.
Except for going down. Oh, you weren't on the jam at the very end of the night?
No, I was. I was. But
there were so many guitar players, I couldn't tell who was there.
It was crazy.
From Winnipeg. From
McKinney?
Indiana, now in McKinney, Texas. That's right.
From Indiana.
But I grew up in Evansville, Indiana.
Okay.
Born in Phoenix and then moved to Indiana when I was 5 in 1968. I'm an old lad.
Great year.
Yeah, not bad. What year were you born?
1987.
See there? He's a wee lad. But can I tell the story of when I first met you?
Yeah, please.
So any of you guys that have been to a music convention like NAMM or the old Music Messe, it can be a very loud, cacophonous noise going on all day, but it's beautiful. Everybody's kind of jamming. There's every bass player slapping away, and every guitar booth there's shredding going on. But every now and then, and this has been a rare occasion, I can think of two in my years since going to NAMM since 1986, where something really caught my ear and made me like stop in my tracks. And one of those was James Santiago, our friend from Universal now.
Audio, yeah.
But he was doing a demo. He was just noodling at the Voodoo Labs booth, and I heard this sound, and I went towards it. Several years later, same thing happened. I'm hearing this tone and this beautiful, soulful playing. I'm like, what the heck is that? So I go towards the light, and there was Joey. There was Joey sitting there playing.
Oh man!
And just playing the most beautiful, melodic, soulful stuff. And to sit next to you now and hear it in person, I went, yep, there, I'm back.
Oh man!
But no, dude, cheers, man. Just really a fan of your playing and.
Likewise.
Yeah.
Well, and the sort of inverse of that is, I was at my first trade show ever, and at that time I was playing. I was playing Suhr guitars.
Oh wow.
And so I was like, and then I was in the Rev booth as well, and I think that was, when you saw me, was in the Rev / Two Notes
okay.
booth.
Okay, cool. Oh, you do?
Yeah. And I remember sitting there and was like playing, and like you said, those things are crazy, and like 90% of people are not listening.
Yeah, it's too distracting and too. Yeah. It's hard to make actual music. But you were making music, and that's what stood out,
Well, and I just remember, like, I had my eyes closed and I was playing, and then I looked up and I saw Andy Timmons. I was like, oh shit. And then
that's what most people say. Yeah.
You're from Indiana.
Yes.
And then where do you go from there? You said you're born in Phoenix, Arizona.
Well, yeah, and so, it's kind of wherever music took me, like for most of us, I think. So my first 2 years of college, I was a classical major because at the local university, they offered classical guitar. And I wanted to make mom happy by staying in school. But I was clearly a rock player, and I was gigging 3 nights a week and, taking lessons from a local jazz guy. So I was getting that in my playing. But I heard about University of Miami because, the Dregs had formed there and Pat Metheny had been there.
Jaco Pastorius, I think.
He used to hang out there.
Floated around that scene.
And so that was the guys I was really, really looking up to at that time. I started off with all the classic rock stuff, but my ears were leaning that direction when I heard Carlton and then Mike Stern, and then the Metheny when I heard the Travels record. It's still I think it's just one of the best, guitar performances ever, the whole record. Anyway, so I went down there and then met some guys that wanted to form a rock band, but they were jazz guys. Steve Bailey, I think he's the head of the bass department at Berkeley now, but he was just leaving Dizzy Gillespie's band. And the drummer, Ray Brinker, was just leaving Maynard Ferguson's band.
Wow.
But he had an uncle that had some money and was going to back his nephew's band. They just wanted to be in a metal band. so I was kind of the rock guy on the campus at Miami at the time. Yeah. So Steve was finishing his degree there, but they had both gone to North Texas University in Denton, Texas, which was another kind of mecca for the jazz, education. And then from there, just kind of I formed my own band, but then I got to the gig in Danger, and that took me to New York. And then when that fell apart, great experience, but I moved back to Texas, and I've been there ever since in the Dallas area. Now in McKinney. You know. So Now I do know enough to know that you're from Winnipeg, and are you still there?
I am still there.
So,
Yeah.
right, you're staying home. I was telling you yesterday, my one experience with Winnipeg is a mixed bag, because I thought, Winnipeg, that's where the Guess Who's from, which I'm a big, massive Randy Bachman fan, and I had all the Guess Who records through my older brother.
Yeah.
So all those tunes were, but.
Yeah.
One of the first 45s I ever bought, and I love the sound of the record because it's this washy, open hi-hats.
Yeah.
Because it reminds me of Ringo.
Yeah.
Anyway, I was with Olivia Newton-John. We played the Burton Cummings Theater.
Of course you did.
And there you go. But I also remember that was the night our bus got broken into. And they ripped it to shreds. And he goes, oh yeah.
Yeah.
But then what did you say to me?
You're just lucky nobody got stabbed. I think it's Winnipeg is a bit of a stabby place.
It's a stabby.
Yeah.
I'll have a little less stabby in my gig, please.
Yeah.
But
I'm glad you have any experience with Winnipeg, because most people don't.
Yeah.
And they go, oh, what is that anyways?
But how do you think, so like the Beatles were from Liverpool, so it was a pretty rough area. How do you think that shaped you as a player, as a person,
I think Winnipeg is like hugely responsible for a lot of, it's a lot of who I am as a musician. It's not a huge city, but it's kind of like, it's super far removed from anywhere else. Like it's a 24-hour drive to Toronto.
Wow.
26-hour drive to Vancouver.
Damn.
Calgary's 12, 13 hours away. So there's nothing nearby.
That's crazy.
And there's lots of small communities and smaller towns, but so as a result, you're not getting a lot of. It's not like in Toronto where every band
plays there. That's right.
Yeah, so it's like, we're playing in Canada, Toronto or Montreal or Vancouver,
Right.
but you don't really get a lot of acts through Winnipeg.
Yeah,
So
yeah.
as a result, the music community has propped itself up.
Oh wow. Okay.
And so when I was coming up, it was like I was really into the blues and fusion and stuff like that, but it was not uncommon to get called for like, hey, so and so is sick, like. How are your bossa chops? Be like,
nice.
Not super great, but I could probably get through the chart if you guys are stuck.
Okay,
and
cool.
so there's a lot of like, and it's not like that's not a strength of mine by any stretch, but it's like there was a lot of that kind of.
That's great. Though. That's some of the most beautiful situations we can get put in is something that stretches our abilities. Because I'm sure you probably started shedding some bossa like an hour before the gig.
Totally.
To try to, and that's a beautiful thing, man. Now, so thinking about bands not coming through, what was your first concert that you ever saw?
Well, funny. So we'd get a lot of bigger acts at the arena. So we'd get like arena bands.
Okay.
So the first concert I ever saw was Green Day.
Nice.
My mom took us to see Green Day in 1994.
Awesome. That's pretty awesome.
And it was like, she was like, "Hey, because it was close to the big mall." My mom was like, "You guys can go." Get something from the mall, and then we'll go see Green Day. So I bought a wallet with a chain on it.
Nice.
And then I went to the Green Day concert, and then I got it stuck in the seat.
No, nice.
But it was like, it was.
You were already having your Spinal Tap moments.
Oh, 1,000%. It was really, really, it was an amazing experience. But
that's great.
My dad was a working musician when I was a kid, so we grew up going to his band shows.
What did he play?
He's a bass player by trade, but he's a great guitar player, keyboard player, singer, songwriter.
So this is in your household?
Yeah.
So was he kind of your inspiration initially?
Absolutely.
Yeah.
That's
the same with me. My older brothers all played a little bit. And we were all 4 years apart, with my eldest brother being 12 years older. So I was born in '63, so all their musical tastes were my foundation. And the fact they played a little bit, and there was a guitar around the house.
Yeah.
But it was all the British, invasion stuff. But what kind of music was your dad playing mostly?
It was all over the place, because he was really a session guy. So there was like everything from like Robert Johnson to Steely Dan. There was like so much,
Okay,
but it was a lot of what
Nice.
we would call Americana now. So like Bonnie Raitt and Little Feat.
Yes.
And
Can we just say that Bonnie Raitt's probably the greatest female vocalist? She's so amazing, and
Ever.
her playing, it's slide playing. It's just
she's
so great.
she's
Was she an influence on you early on? Do you hear that?
Huge, huge,
and Lowell
huge.
too, I guess, right?
Yeah.
Okay.
Both those, and Ry Cooder was also another really big
right on.
one.
Yeah.
But it was all music I didn't really get until I was a little older.
It's funny how stuff, if you may not be ready for it
Yeah.
until a certain point,
But I remember like hearing the first Little Feat record that I was like, oh wait, hang on, this is really, really cool. Like around when I was like 24, 25.
Okay, right on.
And then I started digging through the catalog and realized, oh, I know every one of these songs,
Oh,
but I
okay.
couldn't tell you the names. But it's
I
'cause, like,
got you.
It was like all my parents listened to when I was a
right,
kid.
right, 'cause you
so
had
it's like
that
just learn it through
kinda
osmosis.
coming back, yeah.
So do your brothers, do they still play?
No, sadly, but they're both still very active as music fans, if that makes sense. My brother owned a very famous record store in Louisville, Kentucky called Ear Ecstasy.
Okay.
Yeah, and
Cool.
that's only closed. They finally shut down as the record industry was kind of tanking. But they ended up on the local radio DJing.
Oh, cool.
So during the pandemic, I would tune in, on the internet to hear my brother, and it was like we were hanging out, because anything that my oldest two brothers, Mark and John. Anything that there is in their collection, I generally love, because their tastes informed, my taste along the way.
Yeah.
And they both love jazz, but they also love all just the great pop and rock stuff, great songs. But yeah, they kind of didn't really carry on like I did. I'm the first one that took it seriously in the family. Yeah.
When did you start doing like your own thing? When did that become your main sort of outlet and
For guitar, you mean, or for?
Yeah. Like when did like you stop working for other people and you become Andy Timmons as we know you now?
Well, I mean, it was kind of going on, like even before I joined Danger, some of the recordings that became my first record called Ear Ecstasy, I stole the title from my brother's record store.
Come on.
But yeah, I was already down that kind of muso. I mean, thanks to Joe Satriani and Steve Vai and Eric Johnson, I was such a fan of instrumental guitar that was all kind of happening. And I did a lot of gigs where I would consider myself a sideman. The Danger thing was great, even though musically, I might have preferred to do some other things, but it was a return to my rock roots. Then we ended up touring and opening for Kiss and Alice Cooper. The childhood fantasy stuff, because
Gene Timmons,
Gene Timmons. That's how I name drop, know these guys a little bit. But we, my first concert was Kiss when I was 13. I saw the Destroyer tour in 1976,
awesome.
and I'm in the last seat in the back of the arena. My mom dropped me off. I went by myself. There's my ticket, And I'd never been around pot before, and all the smoke is rising, because back then it was all just in the smoke. So I don't remember half of the show, but I do. It was the vibe, like, I have to do this. I was already playing a bit of guitar, but I just kind of galvanized that this is my thing. But because of, like, your dad, I had such a love of all things music. Once my first teacher when I was 16 turned me on to Barney Kessel and Joe Pass and baby country stuff. So I went on and then, joined Danger, which was just kind of arena rock kind of stuff. But then I worked with Simon Phillips for a lot of years. More of a fusion, kind of very complicated stuff, but still rock based. But then I was Olivia Newton-John's music director for 15 years. Elsewhere, I would have maybe never played Winnipeg. Unless we played Winnipeg with Danger when we toured with Warrants in 1990, and we played hockey arenas all across Canada. I bet we did play Winnipeg.
Probably would have then, yeah. Also, wouldn't be surprising if you didn't.
But I think we might.
Because a lot of people go from Toronto to Calgary.
But the thing is, I was still me through all that, and I was still recording a lot of my records. But it got to a point, and it's been only, in the last 20 years where I feel like, okay, I was really a lot more focused on whatever it is that I want, what my statement would be, or what, just kind of finding myself even more. And the Resolution record, which next year is the 20th anniversary. And that was kind of the first record where I really took the time, along with my bass player and my co-producer engineer, Mike Dane. We would take a week to get the right sound for a particular thing.
That's cool.
We had the luxury of, he owned the studio, so and just really, really learned, about what would Eric Johnson do, and try these things. Where a lot of times of course I was wanting to have a great sound, but a lot of times I would be cool with my engineer kind of sorting it out. Make it sound good. But no, it's got to be at the source. You got to get it through the speaker and then just make it louder in the mix. But no EQ. We didn't have any EQ, and just move the mics and try to get it that way.
Yeah.
All that's a long answer to a question that I don't really know the answer to. But it's in It's really in progress. I just like to go wherever the muse takes me, and I think that's kind of the beauty of the industry now, is that we're not necessarily dictated or given pressure from labels and stuff like that. And we can get our music out there. I'm not sure how you guys are doing it, but it makes it easy for me to just take my time. And when I feel like I've got something worthwhile, I'll let it out there.
Yeah.
So,
if the right person were to call, would you ever go out and take another gig? Or
Paul McCartney, this is a message to you, sir. I mean, it would. I've turned down a lot of stuff.
I'm sure.
You know what I mean? I don't mean that in any braggadocious way, but especially after my son was born, which is 21 years ago, I thought, if I'm ever going to leave home, it's got to be with people I love and playing music I want. And I did that with Olivia because I loved her.
Sure.
I mean, we're doing the same tunes for years and years. We changed things out, but it was less about that and less about this. It was a great, band of people we had around her, and I loved it. So it would be a special thing to do, but I would definitely do it. Are you asking me to join your band?
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
I got the gig, man. Woo!
The pay is garbage, and we share one hotel room, but the gigs will be fun.
That's a step up.
Yeah.
No, that's great. You got hotels? All right. Yeah. We sleep.
Well, we park the van.
Oh, right. That's the hotel gate.
Yeah.
We've got access to the lobby restroom.
That's right. Yeah, we've got friends at Holiday Inns across the world, so they just let us park there.
It's what we do to do what we love.
Yeah. They just park near the bushes and don't pee on the concrete.
Speaking words of wisdom, let it pee.
Let it pee. Yeah.
I'm sorry.
No, that's good.
told you he was good. I told you. Beautiful, man.
That was lovely.
We tend to jam with lots of people over time, and I don't know about you, but it's always really, really beautiful when somebody has a strong sense of time or feels the way things feels the things the way you do, and I feel that with you already. Just like it's effortless to play.
Yeah.
You know, I don't know if I was getting in your way much, but I hope it was all right.
No, I mean,
You know,
no, it's
such beautiful time and just beautiful melodic ideas, and so makes it easy.
You're the melody man.
Oh no, I mean, yeah.
It's what I love about these kind of moments and they don't always happen is just you realize in a very quick moment how much, you know, it's so cliche and people say it all the time, but music is a universal language that, you know, I hear you play something or you hear me play something and you can kind of tell where the other person is going or
it's intention. You can feel that. And yeah, that's what I mean. Of course, none of this is rehearsed. People must go, oh man, they must have talked that through, or no, we're just kind of making it up and
We've listened to a few of the same records, so it's like
Well, yeah, for sure, you know, and there's so much of who we are based on all these things that we've taken in over the years.
Yeah.
It's where it comes from, or at least the way we filter it through ourselves.
Yeah.
You know, that's why there was I've mentioned this so many times, but David Bowie had the best quote. Somebody was trying to compliment him on, you know, he's been such a landmark, you know, trendsetter. So, oh, no, I'm a collector.
Yeah.
So he's just taking all these things that he loves and it just comes out through his prism. And that's who we become these things just from the things that we love, you know. Mm-hmm. You know. So besides, you know, you mentioned Bonnie and little George, but any other slide heroes that took you down this road that, you know?
Well, the first one before anyone else was Sonny Landreth.
Oh gosh,
and
yes, my gosh.
We had the same name, but we didn't, like, he's from Louisiana. You know, we're not
I noticed that early on because I think I probably heard your name before I met you. So wow, okay. And he plays slide.
Yeah. Well, that's like as a young guitar player, my dad loved slide players, but I was like, there's no point ever trying while a guy like that has your same last name and is who he is.
I could see why that would be inhibiting.
Yeah.
You know,
and then, I mean,
you're Joey Hendricks.
Yeah, exactly. Last name's Page, huh? Yeah, that's a bummer. So yeah, it was kind of like while he existed, there wasn't really a point. But I grew up because of the name. It was like, it was kind of our whole family, even non-musical family members, were aware.
Wow.
It was this cool thing. And like, there is like, I finally met him in 2023.
Wow.
We played the same festival and he said, you know, man, I saw an interview where he said we weren't related, but we actually are.
You gotta be...
Yeah, and so the funny story, not that funny,
so
actually.
it is DNA, son of a...
Yeah. He was playing Minneapolis, which is about 6-7 hours away from us.
Okay.
And he was finishing a tour, I believe, with John Hyatt and the Goners.
Oh, nice.
And my dad called his management team in 1989 or 1990 and said, I'm making a record. Sonny's finishing, he's really close. If I flew him up, would he play on my record for a song or something? And he said yes. So it's my dad's one and only record, and there's all this legend and lore around. Sonny came up to Winnipeg and played this recording session.
How beautiful!
Plugged into a red knob twin.
Red knob twin, which was kind of a cool amp, actually.
I mean, it's like it was so hated, but also so.
I heard guys sound. There was a guy named Junior Clark. I'll never forget. He's a great blues player in Dallas, and he had one. Man, I thought this is a great tone, but it had to do with, you know.
Yeah, it's got to do with the guy. But the story goes that Sonny walked up to the red knob twin and just went, turned all the knobs up and plugged straight in with a Strat in standard tuning, and anyway, so I'll have to ask Sonny if he remembers that. And
Excuse me, not knowing, is your dad still around?
He is. Yes.
Yeah. Okay.
Yeah,
cool.
he is.
Cool.
Yeah, and so anyways, we grew up with a lot of his music in the house, and so for better or worse, the very first person I was trying to emulate would have been him.
I think that's a very good role model.
Yeah. Oh yeah.
Exactly.
I mean, for worse for me because they're very big shoes to.
Huge, but then again, maybe that's the best thing because you know the proof is here in what you're doing and how you touch people with your playing, man. That's, you know.
Well, thanks.
It's a beautiful thing.
But yeah, I think in terms of slide influence, like Bonnie was huge. Like her first two really big records, Nick of Time and I can't remember now.
Yeah. Well, the funny thing, she had been around for like decades.
Well, she didn't have her first hit until she was like almost 40. I think.
That's what I mean. It was kind of a later in her career, but man, what a beautiful way to to blossom even later on, man. She's just so deep. I love her so much.
Well, and her legacy is she's incredible. We've gotten a chance to get to know her a little bit.
Oh, fantastic.
She cut one of our songs actually on her last record, which is pretty.
Man, congratulations on
Thank
that.
you. Yeah,
That's
That's
awesome.
the only person in the world to record one of our songs is her. So it's
Wow.
like, yeah.
I was gonna say that
Our
if you're
track
gonna have
record's
company
good.
of one, I'd think Bonnie Raitt's great, man.
Yeah, when we found out that was happening, I was like, I'm going back to landscaping. Fire up the lawnmower. That's it.
No, man, what a beautiful compliment, you know.
Truly, but
And what's the name of the tune?
it's called Made Up Mind.
All right.
Yeah.
I will check it out.
Yeah, I mean, as soon as we heard her recording of it, it was like, this is just her song now.
Wow. Okay, so
But she is so generous, and she's really inspired us because, you know, when she put out the song, it was the first single off her record, and she actually did very well with it.
Wow.
And everywhere she went, every piece of press, every interview, every late night show, she mentioned us.
Wow.
It was like she did
amazing.
not have to. At any point she could have been like, "Okay, the guys have had enough," but she never stopped.
That's amazing.
And I had the chance to like say, "Hey, thanks for doing that. I know how much it's you know
Sure.
how much it's worth." And she was like, "Well, I know how much it's worth because people were doing that for me."
Yeah.
So it's really cool.
You can hear that in her playing too, though. You know, you can just tell she's that kind of empathetic, you know, person. I love to hear that, though.
She's
That's beautiful, man.
She's incredible.
Oh
yeah.
man, right on.
Yeah.
And that's it, folks. That's all. That's our life story.
That's it. And now we're getting an apartment here in Bamberg together.
I think so. It's a lovely quaint town, and we got plenty of gear.
Yeah.
We got plenty of gear.
Yeah.
Yay! Man.
Yeah.
The bossa gig is back.